You made some social statements as commissioner. One, supporting Jason Collins in his decision to come out, but you were also a major advocate for the notion of minorities becoming owners in NBA teams. You helped facilitate black ownership of the Nuggets in 1990. Then you pushed for an expansion team in Charlotte, which paved the way for Bob Johnson and ultimately Michael Jordan. Some would say that it's just affirmative action for billionaires. But do you stand behind what you did, and why did you do it?
I think the color is green. If people have an opportunity to invest in a club, I remember that someone called me up when Peter Bino, who was one of the investors back in Denver and happens to be African American, sold his interest in the club, I think for a substantial profit. And someone said to me, well, that's too bad. You don't have an African American owner anymore. I said, does that mean that they're locked in? They're not allowed to make a profit because they happen to be black? It was an interesting lesson for me, the way the media sometimes missees things. I think I'm more thrilled by when I see teams, I think, I can't remember exactly, but I see that the Clippers were thinking about a bunch of coaches, all of whom happen to be African American. That's not a subject of comment anymore in our league. Our teams are most interested in winning, and they hire whoever they think is capable of winning. I think it's great when someone like a Magic Johnson has the ample means to buy a piece of the Lakers. I think it's great when he decides to buy a piece of the Dodgers. And it's great about Michael, and hopefully we'll have many former players. Caucasian, African American, Asian, whatever.
Right, because the color is green, as you said.
The color is green.
It's hard to get a team. You have to pretty much be a billionaire.
Or at least have a lot of friends who are.
The vast majority of the players in the league are African American. It's quite striking. The vast majority of the owners are white. And despite everything that you have done in that area, when labor negotiations get heated, there are these references to slavery.
Right.
I can remember Bryant Gumbel calling you a plantation overseer. How did that affect you, and how do you feel about that comparison?
I would say that the things that I have done that have, not for the purpose of, but have actually benefited African Americans dwarf any contribution that Bryant Gumbel has made on that subject. And so I laughed, and many of my friends, mostly African American, laughed with me. So it wouldn't be fair to sort of think about the image of a poor black kid from the ghetto. It doesn't just, that isn't the prototype. The prototype is pretty sophisticated kids who have been guiding their way to get here. If Seattle's deal held and there was no ownership group or no critical path to a new arena in Sacramento, the board would not keep the team in Sacramento.